Hey, so good to see you right here on 5 Plus. We need to start with another weather impact alert. This one for Thursday into Friday. A lot of us saw snow last night. Accumulations somewhat minimal, a couple of slick spots out on those roadways. It turned bitter cold. And that bitter cold is actually expected to last for the next several days. And that's one of the key ingredients that's at play with our next storm system. The second thing you need a good moisture supply. And that doesn't look to be a problem for us as we see plenty of Gulf moisture overriding, matching up with this cold air that's sitting right on top of us. And that's a good recipe for accumulating snowfall, which very well could begin as early as Thursday afternoon, more likely Thursday evening, continuing into the overnight hours and wrapping up sometime midday on Friday. Accumulations look likely at this point, so now's the time to go ahead and be preparing. Look, you're probably already dripping your faucets due to the bitter cold temperatures that we're experiencing overnight. You're going to want to keep doing that for the next couple of days. We're probably not going to get above freezing in northwest Arkansas until Thursday. Even then, it's only brief before our next system arrives. Impacts are likely, especially to travel on those area roadways. Overall, from a broad perspective, this is what we're looking at. We'll begin in northwest Arkansas, where accumulating snow is probable at this point. Traveling south of the tunnel into the Arkansas River Valley, it's actually in the likely category. I think the River Valley, and more specifically the southern part of the River Valley and the Ouachitas, that's probably where we end up having the bullseye for the highest accumulation totals. Meanwhile, parts of South and East Arkansas probably going to deal with an unfortunate mix of sleet, freezing rain, and a little bit of snow. Probably going to get the works in that part of the area. So again, that's going to be Thursday evening into Friday. Accumulating snow is likely. Preparations are certainly needed. Here's what one of the models suggests it could look like. You got the cold air in place Thursday afternoon. Maybe we've got some flurries on the leading edge of that snow band moving into the area. Meanwhile, an area of low pressure, that's our actual storm system. It's going to be moving through Baja California, south of the Four Corners region, South Texas, and eventually riding up that coastline. And as it does, it's expected to be pulling in a whole bunch of Gulf moisture. That's where we see the potential for some accumulating snow. Thursday night, I think a good majority of the River Valley and Ouachita is probably seeing some snow, making its way into northwest Arkansas overnight, likely continuing through Friday morning. This is at 8 a.m. You can see that snow sleet transition line likely remaining off towards the south in parts of South Arkansas. But the reason we're focusing so closely on that track, should it change, and look, we're still a few days away, changes can happen. If that track changes further towards the south, our impacts here locally would probably be a little bit lessened. Now, if that storm system shifts back towards the north, yeah, maybe we've got more issues on our hands when it comes to that transition line between snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Right now, though, a growing degree of confidence, no pun intended, that we'll probably see more snow, and that's it. So as long as that track doesn't change too much, I think we'll probably be looking at primarily a snow event. By Friday evening, maybe there's still a few flurries wrapping around on the backside of that system, but I think we're largely going to be done. One of the concerns I do have, and this is just going to be a secondary concern to the actual event itself, is maybe by Friday afternoon we have a little bit of melting, and then as soon as that sun sets, well, you know the drill. We start to see those temperatures drop, refreezing happens, black ice may be a concern for us on Saturday. Now, traditionally speaking, if past tells us anything, we'll probably have better road conditions by Saturday, but we'll certainly still be wanting to watch for some of those areas of black ice. High confidence that we're going to have some travel issues. Now, that kind of goes one and the same. Closures are probably going to be following that. I'll keep it in the medium category for now. Extreme cold. We've still got to protect those pipes, the people, the pets, those 3 Ps. That remains top of mind as this cold snap continues. Now, I think the coldest of the temperatures are probably behind us, but that's not to say it's going to get any less dangerous over the next couple of days. When it comes to power outages, I'll keep us in the low category for now. And the reason I have a decent amount of confidence that we can stay there is it's typically freezing rain that results in power outages, widespread power outages, those memorable events. This is primarily looking to be a snow event for us. I will tell you, though, given the abundant moisture that's going to be ingested into this system, our snow is probably going to be a bit more wet, which means it's going to be a bit heavier. It is possible, you can't rule it out completely, that some of the weight of that snow on power lines does cause us some issues, but overall, I think travel issues are going to be our primary concern. We're still about 4 to 6 days out, so at this point, we have recognized the pattern. The necessary ingredients are coming together. We're looking at trends. As of today, the models are trending more and more favorable for a snow event, and they're also trending up when it comes to specific amounts. With that said, because there is still a trend and we're not locked into any specific forecast, it's still a little too early, about 12 hours too early before I can tell you amounts, precise timing, and how much you might see in your town. That's coming probably late tonight into your Tuesday. We'll have more details at that point. We got to talk about those temperatures. It's going to continue to be rather cold over the next couple of days. Now, this morning, many of us woke up with feels like temperatures in the negatives across northwest Arkansas. That's not expected to happen again tonight, but we are certainly going to be dropping down to the freezing mark, or at least those low single digits in terms of wind chill values, probably expecting some teens and some low 20s in the Arkansas River Valley. What do the next several afternoons look like? Well, this is going to be northwest Arkansas. Notice we're below freezing tomorrow. We're below freezing again on Wednesday, briefly warming up to 37 on Thursday before our storm system gets here. And then by Friday, as that snow's continuing to fall, probably tapering off by the middle part of the afternoon, we warm up to about 32 degrees. By late this weekend into early next week, we'll call it a heat wave. We're back in those upper 30s. That's still trending well below normal for this time of the year. In the Arkansas River Valley, parts of eastern Oklahoma, we expect to be above freezing each afternoon, but only by a couple of degrees. And this time of the year, the sun sets so early that we only see these afternoon highs for an hour, maybe 2 hours if we're lucky, before we start to drop back off as that sun sets. We'll look to be back into the 40s by Sunday, probably approaching those middle 40s by the first part of next week. I mentioned the 3 Ps. We've still got to talk about it. If you're have kids going back to the bus stop tomorrow morning, we really need to be dressing in layers. Try to limit the amount of skin that's exposed to the elements. And if you got pets, you know the old saying, if you're cold, they're cold. Let's make sure that they have a way to stay warm. Preferably, if you ask me, I think they got to bring them inside. But if you do have outside pets, livestock, we're still going to need to make sure those water supplies aren't freezing up overnight. A lot of ranchers and farmers have been dealing with that. And if you have pipes, exposed pipes especially, pipes maybe on the exterior walls of your homes, you definitely have to protect them. Let's keep those faucets covered up. We probably need to keep dripping those faucets as well. I want to show you what's happening out there. Nice clear evening out there as the sun sets. Feels like it's 16 degrees currently in Bentonville and Fort Smith. The temperature is actually 34, but it feels like it's 26. Those winds not near as breezy as they were last night into this morning, but certainly that north wind is making it feel a bit more on the cool side. Your weekend forecast shakes out to be pretty decent. We're going to be drying things out. We'll see if we can't get some of that snow to melt out off there as well. Kind of really just depends on how much we get. And at this point, totals look to be somewhat notable, at least a couple of inches for many of us, probably some higher locations in parts of the River Valley and Ouachitas. You're going to notice there a 40% chance of accumulating snow on Thursday night into Friday, 60% chance on Friday in the Arkansas River Valley. Same numbers. The only difference, what we're going to see is the amount we expect to accumulate, and we'll have more on that right here on 5 Plus, 5newsonline.com, and as always, on Channel 5. That's it for your 5 Plus extended forecast. We'll keep you posted as this winter event unfolds.